Well, it's a beautiful, windy day here on the campus of Lenoir-Rhyne University as we bring you Lenoir-Rhyne softball once again. I'm Joe Smith, along with my partner Malik Ellis. I'll do the talking and he'll do all the important work with the technology. But hopefully a good doubleheader today against two more familiar Division II teams. Of course, Lenoir-Rhyne and UNC Pembroke. I do want to, if you are joining us from UNC Pembroke, welcome, and I do want to apologize in advance. I've been at Lenoir-Rhyne for 37 years, and a good portion of that time you were Pembroke State, so I'll try not to slip up. If I do, I mean no disrespect. Let's get to today's lineups real quick. Well, we're going to take a break for the national anthem. No, they're doing Lenoir-Rhyne lineups, so I'll go ahead and do the lineups real quick. We'll start with UNC Pembroke's starting lineup, since they'll be batting first. The designated player today for Pembroke is Mary Jo Wilkes. Shortstop Mary Sells will bat second. First baseman Tatum Brummett will bat third. Cleanup hitter is Jordan Adcox. She'll be behind the plate. Lauren Hilburn, the right fielder, will bat fifth. McKenna Sibbett, second baseman, will bat sixth. Batting seventh, Emily Biddle in center field. Batting eighth, Emily Rose at third base. Batting ninth, Madison Carricker. She's in left field. And the pitcher today for UNC Pembroke is Kinsley Shepard. We'll come back to her. She's having a fabulous year so far. The Lenoir-Rhyne lineup, if you've been following the Bears this year, you'll be pretty used to. Leading off, Savannah Moorfield in center. Batting second, Caitlin Rackard at shortstop. Kylie Linhart will be behind the plate and batting third. Cassidy Wall, team's RBI leader, will be batting fourth. And in right field, Hannah Jennings at third base batting fifth. Julia Mardigan, the freshman second baseman, will bat sixth. Laura Beth Wood batting seventh at first base. Lauren Rakes will be on the mound and batting eighth. Kendall Osborne will bat ninth and play left field. We'll take a short on-the-air break for the national anthem. Platform. Bears enter today's game at 6-5 on a 4-game winning streak. Of course, they swept a doubleheader Wednesday from King University, and then yesterday swept 2 from Southern New Hampshire. So 6 games, 8 home games, this being games 5 and 6 against UNC Pembroke. And the Bears will turn around and host a doubleheader on Monday against Lemoyne College out of Syracuse, New York, and then hit the road. UNC Pembroke comes in today with a record of 6-2. They're coming off a sweep of Catawba, our conference foe. They won those games 11-3 and 12-4, so pretty good indication that UNC Pembroke is going to be a formidable opponent for Lenoir-Rhyne today. Lauren Rakes on the mound for the Bears. Lauren in a pretty good groove the last couple of games there in the circle. Pitched 5 1/3 innings yesterday, only 2 hits, no walks, and 10 strikeouts. That followed a complete game, 7-inning shutout back on Wednesday, where she struck out 12 and gave up only 2 hits. So it looks like we're ready to go. The leadoff hitter for UNC Pembroke, Mary Jo Wilkes, and there's the first pitch, and it's a ball. Lauren's ERA heading into today, 2.75, has 50 strikeouts in only 28 innings, and as I mentioned, she's been pitching well here the last couple of games. And there's strike one. UNC Pembroke, as I mentioned, going to be a good opponent for us today. Their team batting average is .333, and I noticed on their stat sheet, as a team, they've only struck out 9 times this year in 8 games. Well, I'm going to say in 6 games, their stats. I didn't have updated stats through the Catawba doubleheader, but regardless, that's pretty good. And there goes Mary Jo Wilkes as out number 1, and Lauren Rake's first strikeout of today. Mary Sells comes to the plate. Sells, the shortstop. Left-handed. And batting .421. That's a little chopper to, a little pop. I thought it was going to be a chop. I thought he hit in front of the plate first, but nice play by Lauren for the second out of the game. We're just getting started. It's top of the first. 2 quick outs for the Bears, as Tatum Brummett comes to the plate. She's batting .421. They have about 6 hitters up at the top of that lineup that are batting over .400. So those batting average combined with the very few strikeouts, as I mentioned earlier, gonna be a challenge today. And there's a strike from Lauren. Counts 1-1. 2 away here. We're just in the top of the first. Doubleheader today against UNC Pembroke. And that pitch is outside. Bring some extra weights and paper clips today because of the wind. Try to keep everything from blowing away. Here's a pitch from Lauren. And outside. Again, four wins in a row for the Bears. And pitching has really been, they've scored some runs. They've scored quite a few runs. But pitching's kind of been, what has set the tone for their games these last 4. 3 of those are shutouts, a pair of 6-0 shutouts against King. One game won yesterday against Southern New Hampshire, 8-0, and then the second game 6-2. Both of those runs were unearned, and there's strike 3. So quick inning for Lauren Rakes as she strikes out 2 of the 3 batters she faces, and the Bears will come to bat when we come back. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bear Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
Cordell Harris Insurance Agency, a family-owned and operated business serving the Hickory area since 1981, where we strive to take care of you and your den like family. As an independent insurance agency, we offer a vast spectrum of coverage for your commercial and personal insurance needs with our extensive network of providers. Cordell Harris Insurance Agency is a proud sponsor of Lenoir-Rhyne Athletics. Protect your den with Cordell Harris. Go Bears!
in left field for Savannah Moorfield. So the Bears are on the roll early, and ball gets away from the second baseman. Savannah with good speed, but chose to stay at first. So leadoff single for the Bears senior center fielder. Caitlin Rackard to the plate now. Caitlin playing a pretty good shortstop, freshman out of Lexington, North Carolina. Will face Kinsley Shepard. I'll come back to her in a second. Tough opponent for Lenoir-Rhyne hitters today. Leadoff single, though, for Savannah Moorfield. And the Bears have something going early here in game one of our doubleheader. Kylie Linhart on deck. Caitlin Rackard at the plate. And there's a swing and a miss for strike three. Kylie Linhart, pretty good day yesterday in the doubleheader. 3-4, couple of runs, 4 RBIs. I mentioned Cassidy Wall is our RBI leader with 10 after yesterday. Kylie Linhart also has 10 RBIs, so they are co-leaders. And still looking for a home run to move her forward on that all-time list. There's strike one. Kylie enters the game with 42 home runs. She's in third place all-time behind Jody Mizell. If you follow the Bears, you recognize her name from a number of years ago. Jody has 44, and the Bears' all-time leader, Sarah Atkins Cook, has 46. So certainly within reach for Kylie this year to move into that top spot. Here's a pitch, and there's a fly to right. Looks like that might get foul also. Wind's going to be an issue probably for the outfielders, and certainly as we've seen on that long ball from Caitlin Rackard, hitters too. She hit that ball hard, and it was just right of the foul pole, and the wind, I'm sure, helped it. 1-2 the count for Kylie Linhart, senior catcher for the Bears. And here's the pitch from Shepard, and it's outside, evens the count at 2. Inside, well, they fought it off. Count stays at 2-2. Games 5 and 6 of an 8-game homestand for Lenoir-Rhyne. We'll host Lemoyne University out of a doubleheader. Drove in 3 runs, and as I mentioned, she and Kylie Linhart share the RBI lead for the Bears, both with 10. And with Savannah Moorfield on second, Cassie has an opportunity to push one across here, get the Bears an early lead. Just a bloop right up into the second baseman's hands, and that's out 2. Wall went after the first pitch and popped it up to second. Hannah Jennings will step in. And man, is she good at third base. She got some work, not so much in game 1 yesterday, but game 2. And it's the hot corner, and she plays it really well. Jennings batting .235. It's early in the season. Got 8 hits. Does have a home run, 5 RBIs. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge maybe to get the ball out today, especially to left. That one's in the dirt. Runners don't advance. So the count goes to 2-0. Julia Mardigan, freshman second baseman, is on deck if Hannah can keep this rally alive. And there's strike 1. Just getting started. Bottom of the first, game 1. Game 2 to start 15 to 20 minutes after game 1 is complete. And there's a strike. The outside corner. We had some spurts of wind yesterday, but this seems a little more consistent, at least so far. Pitch is high, count goes full. So 2 outs, full count. Savannah Moorfield on second. Kylie Linhart on first. So there'll be movement on this pitch as Hannah Jennings steps in. Here's a pitch from Shepard. And Hannah reaches out for it, pops it foul over the left field fence beyond the dugout. And the count remains full. And right back to the pitcher. Shepard makes the play and throws to first, and the Bears are retired, not before getting a couple of base runners, but leave those stranded. And we'll head to the top of the second, scoreless, here in Game 1 of our Saturday afternoon doubleheader. We'll be right back. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
I'm Rob with Center Street Eats. We're located at 225 and so much more. We can accommodate most allergy restrictions and can adjust our weekly menu to comply with the most current trending diets like keto and paleo. Center Street Eats has helped fuel the sports programs at Lenoir-Rhyne for over 10 years now. We work with every program on campus, and we look forward to working with them again.
And welcome back, everyone. Heading into the top of the second here for Game 1 of our doubleheader. Bears hosting UNC Pembroke this afternoon. UNC Pembroke 6-2 here early in the year, coming off a doubleheader sweep of Catawba, 11-3 and 12-4. So I mentioned a little bit about their hitting. They appear to be a pretty solid softball team. Jordan Adcox leading off. She's the Braves catcher. Today, if I slip up and say Braves instead of Bears, at least maybe I might be right, because UNC Pembroke is the Braves. 2-1 to count. Lauren Rakes on the mound for Lenoir-Rhyne, facing Jordan Adcox. And there's a swing and a miss. Bears got roughed up a little bit on that Florida swing, but this week have looked very good. And there's a swing and a miss, strike 3. So third strikeout in 4 batters for Lauren Rakes. Only real hiccup in the 4 games prior to this one, this week. A couple errors in Game 2 yesterday. Brooklyn Hebner, freshman pitcher out of Shelby, pitched well, gave up a couple of unearned runs, and that's been uncharacteristic of the Bears so far. So they can clean that up a little bit today, and there's strike 1. Lauren Hilborn, the right fielder, at the plate for the Braves. A lot of cloud in the sky. A lot going on campus today. There's a pop to, looks like it's going to be foul. Caitlin Racker gets over and make the play though. Nice job. And the freshman out of Lexington's done a good solid job for us at shortstop so far this year, and that's out number 2. As I mentioned, lots going on. Baseball playing Shippensburg State out of Pennsylvania while we're over on this field. And There's a basketball doubleheader, and I'm trying to remember who we played. I know it's a conference game. Might be Mars Hill. Mealy Ellis says yes, it's Mars Hill, so Bears hosting the Lions over in the gym. A couple of balls from Lauren Rakes, 2-0 count. 2 quick outs for the Bears. McKenna Sibbett, the second baseman, is at the plate for UNC Pembroke. Here's the pitch, and there's strike one. Swing and a miss, strike two. Two games Lauren has started this week. Prior to this one, she has gotten off to a fast start. Game one against King on Wednesday, she struck out 8 of the first 9 batters, and there's a strikeout for 4 now in the first 2 innings for the junior pitcher from East Wilkes High School. So no runs, no hits, no errors, none left. Another 2 strikeouts for Lauren Rakes, and we'll go to the bottom of the second. We're scoreless here against UNC Pembroke. We'll be right back. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network.
Kia in Hickory. We want to see you driving a new Kia or, hey, a quality pre-owned Kia. We've got a huge selection of new and pre-owned Kias. You got to get to Paramount Kia in Hickory, Highway 70, ParamountKia.com.
Julia Mardigan stands in for the Bears as she will lead off the bottom of the second. We're scoreless here. Bears and UNC Pembroke, first game of our doubleheader this afternoon. And Mardigan playing a good second base for us so far from Mechanicsville, Virginia. Freshman, as I mentioned. And she will face Kinsley Shepard, who's been pitching very well early in the season for UNC Pembroke. We're going to take some ball. Counts 1-1. Bears looking for their 5th straight win today. And there's a shot by Mardigan to the gap, but the center fielder is going to make it over there. You know, from my angle, I can look straight out, and in fact, the ball pulled towards the center fielder because of the wind. So there's an example of what may have been left center gap double. Instead, to fly out for the first out here in the bottom of the second. Or Beth Wood is the batter for the Bears. First baseman. Played really well defensively in this 4-game winning streak. And she can stretch at first and go get the ball on the throw. Not even in my youth would I have been able to do that. And I'm pretty flexible. Just off the bat was a ball. Laura Beth kind of ugh about that one. So unwanted strike there. 1 out here, bottom of the second, no score. And there's strike 2. Bears trying to get their 5th win in a row, and head coach Sheena Holler's 903rd of her career. She hit the 900 mark yesterday in game 1, and Wood goes down on strikes. That's Kinsley Shepard's second strikeout of the game, and Lauren Rakes comes to the plate. Lauren batting .294 here early in the year, and of course has done a great job on the mound, particularly this week. 54 strikeouts now in 30 innings. Shepard pulls the string a little on that one, and it's ball 1. The 6-5 Bears hosting the 6-2 Braves of UNC Pembroke. And there's a strike. And there's strike 2. A variety of food trucks have been appearing at Lenoir-Rhyne softball games. And I can smell this one more than I could smell the other two. I'm going to have to get a burger between games. There's the ball count goes to 2-2 as the two pitchers face each other. Kinsley Shepard and Lauren Rakes. Lauren chased a high one, singed it left, foul, just over the bullpen area for the visiting team. And the count remains 2-2. Outside count goes full. 2 outs here. Full count on Lauren Rakes. She's trying to get something going here. In the bottom of the second. Kinsley Shepard's ready. Here's the pitch. And that's outside. And Lauren draws a walk. Had a couple of walks in game 2 yesterday. And a base runner now for Kendall Osborne in left field. Outfielders today are going to have a little bit of a challenge with the wind the way it is. It's been more consistent than yesterday. We had some spurts yesterday, but the flags have been flying straight into right field since well before first pitch this afternoon. There's a strike to Osborne. Shepard's ahead in the count 0-1. 2 outs here, bottom of the second, no score. There's a little dribbler to shortstop, and it's a bad throw. And Lauren Rakes is going to try for home. Here comes the throw, and it's not good either, and there you go. So, Kendall Osborne reaches on an E6, and Lauren Rakes is able to score from first, and the Bears take an early 1-0 lead. You got to be good, but you got to be lucky too, and nice heads-up running by Lauren Rakes there to get Lenoir-Rhyne on the board. So now, with 2 outs, Bears have a runner on first and Kendall Osborne, and we go to the top of the lineup for Savannah Moorfield. She singled to lead off the game. Ball's high and outside for ball 1. Moorfield leads the team in runs with 11, hits with 18. On base percentage of .512, and of course is higher because she had a single to lead off the game. She's 1 for 1 today. There's strike 1. Bears had some success with 2 outs in the games yesterday. Let's see if they can get a little rally going here. And right back to the pitcher, and Shepard makes a clean play for out number 3. But not before the Bears, with some heads-up base running, score on a UNC Pembroke error and take a 1-0 lead here, heading to the top of the third. We'll be right back. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
Hickory's hometown jeweler celebrates our hometown teams, college sweethearts. These couples met and fell in love in Hickory and have been together ever since. For the past 38 years, we've helped our clients celebrate a lot of milestones, and stories like these are some of our favorites. Bring your love back to where it all began. Show your college sweetheart the past as you look together to the future, and let us help you start your future here at Oz's Jewelers.
Top of the third here, Lenoir-Rhyne softball hosting UNC Pembroke. Bears with a 1-0 lead. Some good heads-up base running by Lauren Rake. Scores from first on a E6 that went out towards right field and helped herself out as Lauren now steps in the circle to face Emily Biddle, the center fielder for the Braves. And there's strike one. Lauren, as I mentioned, has been pitching pretty well, and she's gotten off to a good start today. No runs, no hits, 4 strikeouts, and 6 batters. Lauren from Hamptonville, North Carolina. As I mentioned, East Wilkes High School. Count now 1-2 to the Braves center fielder, Emily Biddle. And here's the pitch, a little bit high. Count goes to 2-2. Very much a North Carolina roster for UNC Pembroke. And a lot of people from their local area, Laurinburg, Tabor City, Pembroke, Fayetteville. So sure they have a good local following, and if you're a Braves fan and listening to us today, welcome. And high. And after getting ahead in the count, or falling behind in the count, I guess, from Biddle's sake, she draws a walk. First base runner for UNC Pembroke today, and first blemish for Lauren Rakes. So leadoff walk, Emily Rose, the third baseman, stands in for UNC Pembroke. Looks down, gets the signal from head coach Brittany Bennett. And there's ball one. Both pitchers have been good. Of course, we've seen Lauren, but the stats indicate that Kinsley Shepard has had an outstanding start of the year for UNC Pembroke. So, a bunt to move a runner over, even though it's early. I don't know if that would be too much out of the question. As head coach and batter converse again. Here's a pitch from Lauren. And there's strike one. High and tight. Madison Carricker is on deck, left fielder for UNC Pembroke. Braves with a runner on first, and outside count goes to 3-1. So Lauren cruising along through the first 2 innings, leadoff walk, and now behind 3-1 here, and there should be strike two, and it is. Excuse me. And there's a swing and a miss. So Lauren comes back to get Emily Rose after falling behind 3-1. And there's one away here in the top of the third. So Madison Carricker comes to the plate for the Braves. Carricker's only played in a couple of games so far this year. Only have stats through 6 of their 8 games, and as I mentioned, they swept Catawba in a doubleheader on Thursday. And there's strike 2. One away here. You can see Pembroke with a run on first. And a little slap shot goes foul. And a nice one-handed catch by a fan over here behind the stands. He's smiling. Yeah, that was pretty good. He did a good job. And here's a pitch from Lauren and a swing and a miss. So after the walk and falling behind 3-1 to the next hitter, Lauren comes back for a couple of strikeouts. She has 6 now in 2 2/3. And we go back to the top of the order, Mary Jo Wilkes. She struck out to lead off the game back in the first. That's a little redundant. There's a little bloop. It's going to be tough and it's going to fall. Moorfield gets there just in the right spot, where in between shortstop and outfield, or where it just fell. So little bloop single there for Wilkes, and runners now on first and second for UNC Pembroke as Mary Sells steps in. Shortstop for the Braves. Popped out to the pitcher, Lauren Rakes, back in the first. And a little miscue on a throw in the bottom of the last led to the Bears' run, only run of the game so far. LR leading 1-0. Lauren Rakes ahead in the count, 0-2 here to Mary Sells. Braves with runners on first and second. And there's strike 3. So she, in a couple of little hiccups there, comes back strong both times, does Lauren Rakes, strikes out the side, and we'll head to the bottom of the third. Bears lead 1-0. We'll be back in a moment. Listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by NBA Roofing. And welcome back for the bottom of the third inning. Bears lead UNC Pembroke 1-0. Caitlin Rackard will step in for Lenoir-Rhyne, freshman shortstop from Lexington. Struck out in the first, but hit a ball that I think without the wind would have easily been a home run, at least distance-wise. It was just to the right of the pole, and the wind is blowing pretty strongly today, so just missed one there. Let's see how she does in her second plate appearance today. Heading to count 1-0 and goes to left field. Has a left fielder back, and boy, the wind probably caught that one too as it comes out of the glove of Madison Carricker, and Caitlin Rackard finds herself on second base. to lead off the bottom of the third. Kind of a tough error for a left fielder. Did hit her glove and bounce out. But the wind's going to be problems in the outfield today. Wild pitch there, and Rackard all of a sudden is at third. And Kylie Linhart at the plate. So the Bears back in the second. Scored a run with no hits. Now have a runner at third without having a hit yet in this inning. And Kylie Linhart certainly capable of giving the Bears a 2 or 3-0 lead here. And she turned on that inside pitch, and that's going back towards field behind us behind the visiting dugout. Counts now 1-1. Guess that one's low, a little outside. Boy, the flags are flailing. It's a windy day. And there's ball 3, Kylie Linhart. Kylie's been here a long time. I'm sure all the teams we play are well aware of her power. And she shot past third, and head coach Sheena Holler, winner of 902 career games. Won her 900th yesterday in game 1. 901. I don't want to jump the gun here. Hopefully 902 or 903 today. And there's a shot to the shortstop. Rackard's going to have to hold up. Plays at first, and Kylie goes down on a hard hit ball to short. Rackard's still at third with 1 out, and Cassidy Wall coming to the plate. She popped up to the second baseman in the first. Has a chance to push a run across here for Lenoir-Rhyne, give the Bears a 2-0 lead. Here's the pitch from Shepard. And that's high for ball 1. Let's see if we can get 11 right here. And the count goes to 3-0, so a lot of options here for Wall. 1 out, runner on third. She can be fairly picky, or just force Shepard to throw a strike, which she does, and the count's now 3-1. Bears lead 1-0, but threatening. And there's a nice shot by Wall, and it's going to get over the head of the center fielder into the fence. So that's at least 2. Rackard's going to score, and Cassidy Wall takes the RBI lead for the team with her 11th, and the Bears lead 2-0. Well, that's a nice shot to left field. Left fielder Carricker just had to turn and run. And Hannah Jennings will step in with 1 out and see if she can make it a multi-run inning for the Bears here in the bottom of the third. A little blue pin is a strike. Kinsley Shepard didn't look like she liked the pitch much, but she got the strike. And there's a little slow roller to first. And Jennings is out. Wall will advance to third. And there are 2 away. Julia Morgan up for Lenoir-Rhyne, second baseman. She faces Kinsley Shepard with Cassidy Wall on third, and there's a shot up the middle. Nice single, and another run scores. The Bears lead 3-0. Good first pitch, just swing and a hard single to center field for Mardigan. And the Bears push another run across to take a 3-0 lead. Laura Beth Wood stands in. Caught looking for a second inning strikeout. See if she can get in the hit column here. And she did, but probably not the way she wanted, as she takes a inside pitch off the elbow and trots to first. So 2 runners on now. Single from Mardigan, RBI single. And Laura Beth Wood hit by pitch. And Brittany Bennett, the head coach for the Braves, trots to the mound. Day off tomorrow for the Daytona 500. Well, I'm not sure if Coach Holler really did take a day off for the Daytona 500, but it happens to be the Daytona 500 tomorrow. Bears will be back in action on Monday, hosting Lemoyne College out of, maybe University, out of Syracuse, New York. If that name rings a bell, Lemoyne defeated our Bears men's lacrosse team in the national championship match back in May up in Connecticut. So maybe softball team can exact some revenge on Monday versus Lemoyne. So Bears with a couple of runners on, 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Already pushed 2 runs across. Lauren Rakes stands in, see if she can help herself. Good performance on the mound so far. Walked and scored a run, the Bears' first run, back in the second inning. Here's a pitch from Shepard. And there's a shot past third by Rakes. That's going to score Mardigan, and the Bears are up now 4-0. Kind of an awkward slide there, and Julia's laughing, and her teammates are getting a chuckle out of it. The run counts. That's what matters. And the Bears now, with a 3-run inning, are in a position to stretch this lead to a difficult spot for Pembroke. Kendall Osborne. Kendall reached on an error back in the second. Pushed a run across. Lauren Rakes, really good job on the base pass. Scored from first on the E6, and that got the Bears in the run column. A 1-run lead that's now been stretched to 4-0 this inning. And the Bears still with runners on. Pop foul over the Bears dugout. Count goes to 1-2. 2 away here. Bears lead 4-0. Laura Beth Wood on second. She was hit by a pitch. Got to second on the single by Lauren, RBI single by Lauren Rakes. And ball 2 to Kendall. And played cleanly by the second baseman. And the inning is over. But not before the Bears score 3 runs to take a 4-0 lead against UNC Pembroke. We'll head to the top of the 4th. When we come back, you're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network. Bears lead 4-0 as we head to the top of the fourth. Lauren Rakes on the mound. In the circle for the Bears. A little bit of a stumble there in the third inning. Gave up a walk and a single. Only 2 base runners for UNC Pembroke. But helped herself with an RBI single in the bottom of the third. And the Bears leading now 4-0. Tatum Brummett, the first baseman, is at the plate for the Braves. She struck out in the first. And there's a ground ball just foul. Laura Beth Wood feels it. And Tatum Brummett will step back in the batter's box. Bears on a 4-game winning streak. 6-5, looking to extend that here in game 1 of our doubleheader. And off to a pretty good start, but still innings to play. UNC Pembroke 6-2 coming off a doubleheader sweep of Catawba on Thursday. And they find themselves in a little bit of a hole. Pitch might have gotten a little away from Lauren. Count goes full. She did walk the leadoff hitter back in the third. Proceeded to strike out the next 2 and ended up striking out the side. Brummett reached for that one, and it goes foul beyond the Braves dugout. Busy day here on campus today. Baseball playing Shippensburg State. Basketball hosting Mars Hill. And, of course, softball here hosting UNC Pembroke. And there's ball 4. So, second inning in a row that Lauren Rakes has walked the leadoff batter. Didn't come back to get her last inning, but I'm sure she's would rather not have a leadoff runner on. Jordan Adcox steps in. She struck out to lead off the second, but has a runner on first now, as the Braves find themselves behind 4-0 to the Bears. There's strike 1. Good bundled up crowd here today to watch the Bears play. I'm sure there's some Braves fans out in the crowd also. Bit of a trip. Made many of those back when the Lenoir-Rhyne and UNC Pembroke, then Pembroke State University, were in the Carolinas Conference together in the NAIA days. Here's a pitch from Rakes, and pop back towards us. Count goes to 1-2. Probably a little bit easier now with that bypass around Monroe. And 485 and 321. Wish we'd have had those back in the 80s. And there's ball 2. Leadoff runner on for UNC Pembroke. Jordan Adcox stands in. See if UNC Pembroke can start a rally, but there's strike 3. So much like the inning prior, Lauren Rakes walks the leadoff batter, then gets a strikeout. It is her 8th in 3 1/3 innings. And there's a strike. Lauren now with 58 strikeouts in 31 1/3 innings this year. In a complete game shutout on Wednesday. Started yesterday, only pitched 3 innings in game 1, struck out 6. Ended up striking out 4 in 2 1/3. She came in relief in game 2. Has 8 already here, and we're in the top of the 4th. Bears lead 4-0. No runs, 1 hit, 2 errors for the Braves. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Lenoir-Rhyne. Lauren looks in the dugout. Checks the wristband. And here's the pitch to Hilburn. And that's a ball. Count goes to 2-2. Midway through game 1 here. Game 2 to follow, probably about 20 minutes after the end of this one. And foul back to the screen. Kylie Linhart tosses it back to Lauren. And she'll set up again. Counts 2-2, 1 out here in the top of the 4th. And pull the string there. She's going to try to go. Linhart's got a good arm. And did they get her? Yes, they did. Wow, nice throw by Kylie Linhart. The pitch sort of bounced up there. It was a nice gamble. It was a good gamble by Brummett. Wasn't a great pitch, and Kylie had to field it out of the dirt, but strong arm and good play by Julia Mardigan out there to get the base runner. And that's out number 2 for UNC Pembroke. And Lauren Hilburn stays in with a full count and draws a walk. Breaking pitch for Lauren Rakes. Just missed outside. And second walk of the inning. First walk was to Tatum Brummett. She was just thrown out at second by Kylie Linhart. Lauren Hilburn stands on first now. McKenna Sibbett, the second baseman, steps in against Lauren Rakes. Don't want to jinx us, but the wind seems to have died down quite a bit. And a little high, ball 2. Golly Linhart jots out to the mound. Talk to Lauren real quick. Emily Kinley, former Bear herself, assistant coach for head coach Sheena Holler, steps out too. Maybe trying to loosen things up a little bit. Lauren's laughing. Looks like Kylie smiling too, and everybody goes back to their regular spots. 2-0 count, 2 outs. Runner on, Lauren Hilburn at first for the Braves. As Rakes steps in. And foul back towards us. 4 strike 1. There's a pitch from Lauren, a little low. 3-1 now the count. Don't want to put on 2 here with 2 outs, and there's a strike. So count full. Hilburn will, with 2 outs, take off, and here's the pitch. And that's going to be trouble unless Racker can get there just about. That would have been a great play, but they got the runner at third. Nice job. Heads up play by Kendall Osborne from left. Rackard gave it a great effort, couldn't quite get there. Osborne scoops it up and gets Hilburn, who was trying for third, on the play, and the inning is over. So, Bears with Kylie Linhart throw to second, and a nice play for Kendall Osborne in left in the inning, and take a 4-0 lead into the bottom of the 4th. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by NBA Roofing.
break great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
And welcome back, everyone. I'm Joe Smith with you today. My partner, Malik Ellis. I get to talk, and he does all the important work. So you can watch this game here in Hickory on a beautiful day as the Bears lead 4-0 over the UNC Pembroke Braves. And we head to the bottom of the fourth. Bears bat around back in the third. So Caitlin Rackard is leading off 2 innings in a row here and takes a strike. I think Rackard struck out in the first, but hit a long ball to right that just went foul, and I think if the flags were like they are now, that would have been a home run. So maybe she can get something here. There's ball 2. Bears lead 4-0. Rackard got things going in the top of the third, reached on a error in left field, and at that time the wind was pretty brutal and knew it was going to be tough on the outfielders today, and left fielder looked like she had it played and all of a sudden had to come in a few steps, and the wind just looked like the wind caught it, and that was that. But nice little shot there, but good play by the third baseman. Rackard almost beat it out, but there's out 1. So Rackard goes down 5-3, and Kylie Linhart will stand in. Kylie walked in the first, grounded out to short in the third. Maybe she can get into one with the wind down. Well, she may have. That's going out to center. Center field's back. Might have a play and catches it right at the fence. Boy, I tell you what. Wednesday, yesterday, and that one, she is just missing. Just getting under the, just that little bit too much, because she has hit the ball to the fence a few times. And it's coming. Hopefully today, but she's going to get into one here pretty soon. Allowed out to center, and 2 down now as Cassidy Wall steps in. Grounded out to second back in the first inning. Had an RBI double to get things going for the Bears. Scored Rackard back in the third. Wall ended up scoring herself later in the inning as part of that 3-run third that has put the Bears up 4-0. Kinsley Shepard trying to settle in and get out of the fourth quick after having a tough third inning. She got 2 quick outs. I know would like to get Wall here. One and 2 the count, 2 away here in the bottom of the fourth. Bears lead 4-0. And there's strike 3. So after a rough third, Kinsley Shepard comes back and gets a 1-2-3 inning, gets the Bears 1-2-3 in the bottom of the fourth, and we'll head to the top of the fifth. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by NBA Roofing.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Emily Biddle will lead off the top of the fifth for UNC Pembroke. Center fielder. Walked back in the third, did not score. As Lauren Rakes comes to the plate. Lauren, 4 innings pitched. 2 hits, no runs. A couple of walks and 8 strikeouts. As she faces Biddle. And Biddle rides one to left center. Kendall Osborne's on her horse and can't get there. It goes to the fence, and that's going to be a double for the UNC Pembroke center fielder. She got into that one. And the Braves have a runner in scoring position here with no outs in the top of the fifth. And Emily Rose coming to the plate. She's at third base today for the Braves. She struck out in the third. Has a chance to push across the Braves' first run today, though, with Emily Biddle standing on second. Here comes a pitch from Rakes. And that's a strike. Third hit of the day for the Braves. They've had the leadoff hitter on now 3 innings in a row, and Lauren's been able to pitch out of that in the third and fourth. Let's see how she does here in the fifth after a leadoff double and no outs. Rakes checks the wristband. And here's the pitch and foul back here. Count goes to 1-2. This 8-game homestand for Lenoir-Rhyne will wrap up on Monday as the Bears host Lemoyne University out of Syracuse, New York. And hoping to close out game 1 here, and there's strike 3. So, second strikeout for Emily Rose today. The 9th for Lauren Rakes. And Madison Carricker steps in. She was a strikeout victim also back in the third. And she'll see what she can do to try to advance a runner for the Braves. Bears lead 4-0. We're in game 1 of our doubleheader. A cloud in the sky. Winds pick back up a little bit. And it's a little bit chilly. Not as bad as last night. Of course, we were talking about how chilly it was last night, and the players from southern New Hampshire were all in short sleeves. I imagine Lemoyne may be in short sleeves too when they come down from New York to play the Bears on Monday. And there's a little slap shot to Rackard, and she's going to get Carricker at first for the second out. Nice job. Tell you what, Caitlin Rackard, pretty solid shortstop. And the freshman's might be seeing the beginnings of that position being held down for a little bit. Of course, Talon LeClaire there for so long, covering from injury now. And hopefully can get on the field later this year. But shortstop looks to be in good hands with Rackard. Foul back there, and quickly Lauren Rakes ahead 0-2 to Mary Jo Wilkes. Wilkes struck out to lead off the game, singled back in the third, but was stranded there. And there's strike three. Wow. So, Lauren Rakes, after the leadoff double, retires the next three, including a couple of strikeouts, and the Braves remain scoreless. So, with a 4-0 lead, the Bears will go to the bottom of the fifth. We'll be right back. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network.
NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
So Hannah Jennings will lead off the bottom of the fifth for Lenoir-Rhyne. Kinsley Shepard still on the mound for the Braves. Had a rough third, came back and got the Bears 1-2-3 in the fourth. And she'll face Hannah Jennings here to start the bottom of the fifth. And a little bit high, took something off of that one. Hannah takes ball one. Hannah grounded out to the pitcher back in the first. Grounded out to the third baseman in the third. And there's ball two. Julie Mardigan on deck. And there's a strike. Always a little bit of delay from the home plate umpires, I've noticed. That one in the dirt, not much of a decision to make there, as the count goes to 3-1. And there's a strike. Hannah looked back at the umpire. I think she was thinking that might have been a little outside, but the count goes full now as Jennings leading off here in the bottom of the fifth. Well, the wind is back pretty significantly all of a sudden. And one straight back from center towards us, looks like. And there's a little slap to left field. The wind looked like it played a little bit with the ball, but Carricker able to make the play for out number one. And Jennings heads back to the dugout, and Julia Mardigan will step in. She flew out to center in the second, had an RBI single and scored in the third. So she's 1 for 2. Freshman second baseman. And takes ball one. Bears up 4-0. We're in the bottom of the 5th, so inching toward the end here. They would like to get some more runs on the board. Warren Rakes pitching well again for the Bears. 1-1 the count to Mardigan. And Shepard tries to float one in there, but it's a ball. And the count goes to 2-1. Shepard, a freshman out of Laurinburg. So she's stayed home for school, and a nice shot to the gap for Mardigan. She's going to turn and easily get to second. So 1-out double for Julia Mardigan. And that's her second hit of the day. And Laura Beth Wood steps in with a runner in scoring position for Lenoir-Rhyne. Laura Beth struck out in the second, was hit by a pitch back in the third and stranded at third when the inning was over. Kinsley Shepard coming to the plate. And there's ball one. Julia Mardigan stands at second for the Bears. Have a 4-run lead, 4-0. And can add some more here. And boy, there's a shot past third off the fence, got out into left field. She turned on that one. She's got some power. She hit one out against King, right center, and there was no doubt about it that it was going to go out. So if she gets into one, it could be 6-0 pretty quick. Wind's blowing in, though. Kind of changing between coming in from dead center and blowing over towards right. It is gusty nonetheless, and it's been an interesting day in the outfield a couple of times. Breaking pitch there, and it's a strike. Julie Mardigan stands on second. Laura Beth Wood trying to move her over. There's a mix of some UNC Pembroke fans in the crowd because I think they wanted that pitch. It's a little up and away to me from where I'm sitting. And the count goes full, and Laura Beth fouls one off to the left over the visiting bullpen. And steps back in. Good cut there, but got a little bit under it, and it's in the right, and the right fielder's going to make the play. Mardigan has to hold up. Nice throw from right to keep Mardigan on second. And there's 2 away now with Lauren Rakes coming to the plate.
Up next for the Bears, number 10, Lauren Rakes.
Lauren walked and scored the Bears' first run back in the second, had an RBI single in the third, was stranded as the inning ended. So she's looking for her second hit of the day and has done an outstanding job on the mound so far. And takes ball one. Kendall Osborne on deck. Lauren needs to get on to give the Bears left fielder a chance. And there's strike one. Bears trying to push another run across here in the bottom of the 5th. Get a little more cushion. And nice shot by Lauren Rakes. That's to right also, but good play by the right fielder. Back-to-back plays, and the Bears are retired and leave Julia Mardigan stranded after a 1-out double. So, Bears lead 4-0 as we head to the top of the 6th. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Braves, number 1, Mary Sells.
Sorry about that. Mary Sells will step in to face Lauren Rakes here to lead off the 6th. Bears with a 4-0 lead. Sells popped up to Rakes back in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd, and takes a ball here. After Monday, the Bears will play a tournament at Francis Marion in Florence, South Carolina, where they'll play Kutztown State and West Liberty, both from up north, I think, both from Pennsylvania. West Liberty might be from West Virginia. Host Francis Marion and then roll back to Kutztown again. Pembroke State has actually played Kutztown State a couple of times themselves. I think I said Pembroke State, I apologize. UNC Pembroke. And the Bears will travel to Belmont Abbey on March the 2nd before they return home for their South Atlantic Conference opener against Coker on Saturday, March the 5th. And there's a shot to left. Osborne plays it well, and there's one away.
Up next, number 14, Tatum Brummett.
Bears trying to win their 5th in a row and trying to get win 902 for head coach Sheena Holler. Passed the 900 mark in game 1 yesterday. What an incredible accomplishment. And as I mentioned earlier, thankfully, 856 of those have been here at Lenoir-Rhyne. So I'd say she's got a chance to get 900 just here. Here's a pitch from Rakes. It's a little awkward stepping off the rubber. It's a ball. One away here. 2-2 the count to Tatum Brummett. She reached on a walk to lead off the 4th, but was thrown out on a nice throw from Kylie Lenhart. And Brummett takes one to the side and trots to first. First hit batter of the day for Lauren Rakes. 5 1/3 innings pitched. 10 strikeouts to this point. Excuse me. But the Rays have a runner on now. Had the leader off runner on 3 straight innings, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Lauren got the first out here in the top of the 6th. Now Brummett at first with Jordan Adcox at the plate. She struck out twice against Rakes, who has 8 additional ones in this game for 10 total. Took a little off there, and there's strike 3. Make that 9 additional for 11 strikeouts.
Next for the Braves, number 6, Lauren Hilborn.
Lauren Hilborn steps in, right fielder. She made a couple of nice plays to in the bottom of the fifth for the Bears. Wynn picks up and see if she can keep this inning going for UNC Pembroke. Strike there. Popped up to Caitlin Rackard back in the second. Nice play by Rackard on that one. Walked in the fourth, but was thrown out at third by Kendall Osborne, trying to extend a single. Boy, nice recovery there from Hannah Jennings. Don't see her bobble many, but she's got such a strong arm. She just stuck with it, calm, cool. Got the runner at first, and the inning is over. So one base runner left on for the Braves, but they remain scoreless as Lenoir-Rhyne will take a 4-0 lead into the bottom of the sixth. We'll be back in a moment. Wow. We'll be back in a moment if we don't blow away. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network. Woo!
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
And welcome back to Bear Field here on the campus of Lenoir-Rhyne University in Hickory, North Carolina, as Lenoir-Rhyne trying to hold a 4-0 lead here as they come to bat in the bottom of the sixth. UNC Pembroke, our opponent today, is game one of our doubleheader. Game two, about 15 to 20 minutes following the end of this one. Wynn is back. And we'll see if that affects anything here as Kendall Osborne steps to the plate. She pops one foul to third. Nice effort by the third baseman there, but might have gone over the short fence into the Braves dugout, and it did. Saw the ball fly out there. Third baseman Emily Rose tosses it back to the catcher, and Kendall Osborne steps back in. Pulled the string there, did Kinsley Shepard, and Osborne quickly in the hole, 0-2. Well, I apologize. We've made a change here. That's actually Taylor Beard at the plate. My apologies. We have white numbers on white jerseys, and as a former sports information director, that causes some angst. But Taylor Beard at the plate for the Bears. Had a plate appearance in game one, I believe, yesterday against Southern New Hampshire. It's a 1-2 count here, leading off a 6, and shows bunt, then swings and flies out to center field for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. So Taylor Beard flies out to center, and we're back to the top of the order. Savannah Moorfield, she's 1 for 3 today. Single to lead off the game, stole a base. A couple of ground outs after that. And she'll see if she can get things going. Came into today's game batting .462. Leader in hits now with 19. So off to a good start, as you may have expected, and plays a great center field. and an extreme threat on the base paths with her speed, just like the prototypical leadoff hitter, and has been that for us for a few years. That one got a little away from Shepard, and the count goes to 3-0. Not sure she wants Moorfield on base. Of course, Bears fans do. And Savannah can be choosy here, heading the count 3-0. And there's strike one. If the Bears can hang on here, it will be their 5th straight win. On their opening doubleheader against Lees McRae. Tough road trip to Florida. There's a little slap hit by Savannah to third. Is she going to beat it out? Boy, that's going to be close, and they called her out. Can't really argue with that, but boy, that speed made her take a look. But it's a 5-3. Moorfield's retired, and Caitlin Rackard will step in with 2 away and nobody on in the bottom of the 6th. And there's strike one from Kinsley Shepard. Shepard had a rough inning in the 3rd, gave up 3 runs, 3 hits. Era didn't help her, and left 3 on, so the inning could have been a lot worse, and has only had 1 base runner since. So she has rallied back to keep the Braves in it. The bats haven't come alive yet, though, and the Bears lead late 4-0. 0-2 count here to Rackard. And that's strike 3. Wow, what a nice inning for Kinsley Shepard. And she gets the Bears 1, 2, 3. She's retired 9 of 10. And UNC Pembroke will come to the plate, try to get a few runs and make a dent in this Bears lead. We'll be right back. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
I'm Rob with Center Street Eats. We're located at 2250 North Center Street in Viewmont. We offer fast dine-in and carry-out service. Usually your prepared meals at lunch from 11 to 3 are ready within 5 minutes. Center Street Eats also offers prepared meals and snacks, protein bars, smoothies, and so much more. We can accommodate most allergy restrictions and can adjust our weekly menu to comply with the most current trending diets like keto and paleo. Street Eats has helped fuel the sports programs at Lenoir-Rhyne for over 10 years now. We work with every program on campus, and we look forward to working with them again.
And we head to the top of the 7th. Bears lead 4-0, 3 outs away from a win here in game 1 of our doubleheader against UNC Pembroke. Quick first strike to McKenna Sibbett, and she immediately wanted that one back. It would have been ball 1, but instead Lauren Rakes is ahead in the count 0-1. Another good outing today for Lauren Rakes as the win picks up significantly again, and 1-1 the count. Are now on the year, 34 innings pitched, 61 strikeouts. She has 11 today. And pop back our way, foul, and the count goes to 1-2. Would be the 5th straight win for the Bears if they can wrap this one up. And follow with game 2. And there's strike 3. So 12th strikeouts today for Lauren Rakes. She's gotten Sibbett twice and Emily Biddle will step in. Not too much offense for the Braves, but Biddle has walked and reached second. Hit a double to lead off the fifth, but was stranded. So she has had some success and fouls one back here. There's a pitch from Lauren, and that's a ball. Count goes to 1-1. Kylie Lindhort back behind the plate. Nice throw to second to catch Tatum Brummett stealing back in the fourth. And there's strike two. So Emily Biddle, center fielder for the Braves. Down the count 1-2. Here's a pitch from Rakes. And that's outside. 2-2. Fights that one off. Hits the screen. Lauren shades her eyes, and I hadn't thought much about it, but pretty tough sun right now for whoever's in right field. First baseman and second baseman too, I guess. Jennings looked like she wasn't sure whether she could get there, and Backard tried to backhand it, but the ball slips through, and Biddle has her second hit of the day. Third time on base, and Emily Rose will step in, third baseman for the Braves. She struck out twice, but has a chance to get something going for UNC Pembroke here. They trail 4-0. We're in the top of the seventh. Well, it's not going to be Emily Rose. They're making a change here. Let's see if I can figure out who this is. It looks like Carson Powell will pinch hit for Emily Rose, and Powell takes strike one. So Carson Powell steps in. It's her first at-bat of the day. And she gets into that one, but foul into the visiting bullpen. It's been windy for the vast majority of the game, and at times very windy, as the flags are pretty straight right now towards right field. You can see that LR flag clearly. The LR on the LR flag. And there's a little play that Racker looks like she goes to go back to first. Did you get her? Yes, nice catch and throw out there as Biddle drifted a little too far off to get back, and that's going to end the ball game. And a 4-0 win for Lenoir-Rhyne. Four shutouts in their last 5 games, and their 5th win in a row as they take game 1 here with our doubleheader with UNC Pembroke. We'll take a break between games and be back with you for the start of game 2, probably around 4 o'clock, which is the scheduled time anyway, so that works out well. So thanks for joining us here for game 1. We'll get you through game 2 here in about 20 minutes. And we'll thank MBA Roofing for sponsorship of Bear Sports Network and Lenoir-Rhyne Softball. We'll be back in a few. And welcome back, everyone. We're a little bit behind. Lineup cards were late, but here we are starting game 2, Bears versus UNC Pembroke. Madison Carricker leading off for the Braves here in the top of the first. Bears took game 1 4-0. Morgan Beeler on the mound for Lenoir-Rhyne, and there's a ground ball through the gap there to right field. And the leadoff runner is on for the Braves, that being Madison Carricker. Pretty much the same lineup for Lenoir-Rhyne as game 1, except Kaylee Travis will be in right field here. And a nice bunt single. So something going on quickly for the Braves here in the top of the first in game 2. So bunt single for Mary Sills. And there's no outs and runners on first and second for UNC Pembroke. As Morgan Beeler steps in. Morgan, much like Lauren Riggs, has pitched well this week. And she'll try to get the Bears. Help get the Bears their 6th win in a row, hopefully. They've won 5 in a row after that game 1 win over UNC Pembroke. This is game 6 of an 8-game homestand. Bears will host Lemoyne University on Monday beginning at noon. And there's ball 1. So quick start for UNC Pembroke. And tip there to plate. Holly Linhart catching again here in game 2. Cassidy Wall still in the lineup for Lenoir-Rhyne. She'll be the designated player, I believe. Oh, and they try to steal third, and nice throw by Holly Linhart. Boy, that was I think that was a bit of a mental error there for Pembroke. So now instead of first and second with no outs, and there's a shot to the gap, and it's going to get by Osborne and go to the fence. So UNC Pembroke will get their first run of the day on an RBI double from Tatum Brummett.
Up next for the Braves, number 11, Jordan Adcock.
Jordan Adcock steps in. 1 out here. Just getting started in game 2. And UNC Pembroke with a quick 1-0 lead. And pitch outside for Beeler. Stiff flags again here in game 2, much like game 1. It has been a windy day. The pine trees in the outfield are swaying. Here's a pitch from Beeler. That's outside to 2-0. So quick start here for the Braves in game 1. Did not score. In game 2. Did not score in game 1. Quickly have a run here and another runner in scoring position to start the first in game 2. And that's low, ball 3. So, a bit of a slow start here for Morgan Beeler. And there's strike 1. Bears 7-5 after their game 1 win. You can see Pembroke falls to 6-3. And there's ball 4. So Morgan has not retired a batter yet. The lone out, Kylie Linhart gunned down Madison Carricker at third on a double steal. And Lauren Hilborn steps in for the Braves. And everybody in the dirt meets as head coach Sheena Holler comes out of the dugout. Slow start, as I mentioned, for Morgan. Beautiful day out. No clouds. If you love the wind, you're in heaven today. Looks like Kylie Linhart's trying to rally the troops out there. She certainly played a lot of softball for LR. And one of our leaders the last few years. So we'll see if the meeting in the circle settles things down a little bit for Lenoir-Rhyne as Morgan Beeler faces Lauren Hilborn. And there's a strike. One to count now. Here's the pitch. And a little ground ball to Rackard. She's going to go to third. Nice job there to get the lead runner. And despite the trouble out there, both outs recorded by Lenoir have been at third base. So they've helped themselves by keeping runners off third. 2 outs now. Let's see if we can get out of this. As McKenna Sibbett steps in. And there's a little chopper's going to go foul. Beeler trying to get out of the inning. She's ahead to count 1 and 2 here. And it's low and in the dirt. Ball 2. 1 run in. Your Braves on first and second. Morgan Beeler trying to keep them there and give the Bears a chance at the plate. There's a ground ball to Rackard. Oh, she tried to scoop it up and missed it, and everyone's going to be safe. Has been very sure-handed so far this year and just didn't quite get that one. Wonder if Coach Holler is going to ask about runner interference. She looks like she's walking to the other umpire. Legitimate question, I think. Rackard went to scoop the ball, and the runner was going to brush past her. They did make contact. I'm not sure it could have been avoided. Just the path of the ball, Rackard coming forward, and where the base runner was on the path. Looks like that's going to be that. And the bases are now loaded for Emily Biddle. Biddle, Lauren Rakes handled the lineup pretty well in game 1, but Biddle did have 2 hits, including a pretty solid double there in the late innings. So there's a ground ball to second, and Madigan makes a play, and the Bears are out of it. So little dicey start for Lenoir-Rhyne. They do give up a run, but keep it at that, and will head in to take their first time at the plate in the bottom of the first. Braves lead 1-0, and we'll head to the bottom of the first. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bear Sports Network, sponsored by NBA Roofing.
I'm Rob with Center Street Eats. We're located at 2250 North Center Street in Viewmont. We offer fast dine-in, carry-out service. Usually your prepared meals at lunch from 11 to 3 are ready within 5 minutes. Center Street Eats also offers prepared meals and snacks, protein bars, smoothies, and so much more. We can accommodate most allergy restrictions and can adjust our weekly menu to comply with the most current trending diets like keto and paleo. Street Eats has helped fuel the sports programs at Lenoir-Rhyne for over 10 years now. We work with every program on campus, and we look forward to working with them again.
And the Bears come to the plate, down 1-0 here as we go to the bottom of the first. Savannah Moorfield will lead off. 1 for 4 in game 1 today. Came into the day leading the Bears at hitting, batting .462. Took a little bit of a hit after game 1. See how she starts this game. Lauren Gammons in the circle for UNC Pembroke. And Moorfield fouls one off. Count goes to 1-1. The wind has not subsided much today, and it's going right now. And here's the pitch. The camera almost fell over a couple of times. You may be able to tell that. My partner, Malik Ellis, is trying to keep the screen from blowing over too. And the count's now 2-2 to Savannah Moorfield. Good all-around ball player in center field, and that one slapped foul. Caught a fan, and they toss back in. Coach Holland makes a play there. Stuffs the ball in her pocket, and the count remains 2-2. And swing and a miss, and a rare strikeout for Savannah Moorfield, as Caitlin Rackard will come to the plate. You hear papers rattling in the background. It is a battle right now with the wind. There's strike one to Caitlin Rackard. Rackard hitless in game 1, did score a run. Looking for her first hit of the day, and there's a ground ball to second, fielded cleanly, and there's out number 2. So 2 quick outs for Lauren Gammons in the circle for the Braves. And Kylie Linhart will step to the plate. Kylie 0 for 2. Did draw a walk in game 1. And there's strike number one. This entire week, Wednesday, yesterday, and in game one today, she has been close to leaving the park and has just gotten under it. She's going to get a hold of one. And they say she went. Doesn't look like Kylie thinks so. Umpire asked for help, which is what he should do, and base umpire gave him the strike sign, and Kylie's in the hole 1-2 with 2 outs. And that one's in the dirt, 2-2. And that one low as well. Count runs full, 2 outs for Kylie Linhart as she steps in to face Lauren Gammons. And inside, that's ball 4. So Linhart draws a 2-out walk, and that will bring Cassidy Wall to the plate. She was 1 for 3 first game, drove in a run, scored a run. RBI double in the third. It was a 3-run inning for the Bears. Gave them that 4-run cushion that stood the rest of the way. And ball 1 to Cassidy. Took the team RBI lead with that game 1 RBI. She has 11 now. Kylie Linhart has 10 to lead the Bears. And there's ball